Yo, what up, Rich Kids? This is King Rich, and you are now watching Team Rich TV.
Smell the runs burning as I'm waking up. You know how the McQueens come, gotta relace them up. Everything full in my driveway.
Alright guys, so here's the deal. I posted on Facebook and asked y'all to send me questions for a Q&A. This is gonna be the first Team Rich TV Q&A. This is volume 1. So, without further ado, here's the first question. What kind of computer do I use? The computer that I use is actually right here. It's a MSI GS75, which is a 75-inch laptop. I use a laptop because, you know, I might have to travel somewhere and still have to edit. It's really good. It has a RTX NVIDIA graphics card. It's really a gaming laptop, but I use it for video editing, so I deleted everything that was on there that had to do with gaming. Yeah, and it works for me. The next question. What software do you use to edit? When it comes to editing, I'm an Adobe guy, so I use Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Premiere Pro, I use Adobe After Effects, and when it comes to editing audio, I use Adobe Audition. So the next question, what's the best camera to use? I actually use Sony cameras now. I used to use Canon. The cameras that I use are actually right here. I have the Sony a7S III right here. And I have the Sony a7S II as my backup camera. I would say if you're gonna start videography, it doesn't matter what camera you use. Just use whatever you have. If all you have is a cell phone, use a cell phone. You can get great video out of a cell phone, but people don't realize it. Right now, I'm recording with my Galaxy S22. No, this is the S21 Ultra. So, and I'm using the front camera. So, if you can make something look like this using a phone, you can accomplish anything with a cell phone. It doesn't matter what camera you use nowadays. It's all about having good lighting. Like I have my backup lights over here. These are my practicals. I have a light stand right there, and I have my Team Rich light back there. If you notice, the Team Rich TV logo right there is actually accenting the blue light that's on the wall. I have a light right here that's shining blue. I have a light back here that's popping some orange, and the light on my face is actually right here. You probably didn't notice it in the screen. You can accomplish whatever you need to accomplish with a cell phone. So you don't have to go and spend thousands of dollars on cameras like we did. That A7S III was like $4,000 when I purchased it. The A7S II was like $2,500. You don't have to shoot. I prefer to shoot Sony because that's just the way that I like to shoot, but it's really up to you. What equipment do you bring to a typical video shoot? On a typical shoot, I'll bring my stabilizer. I'll bring tripods to set up lights. All the lights that I use are optional. You can plug them in or you can use them with battery power. I'll bring both my cameras, all my lenses, plenty of batteries. You don't want the battery to die on you while you're in the middle of a shoot. What else? Voice recorders, just in case you're shooting some scenes that are not part of the song, and plenty of creativity. Next question. Is it hard to edit music videos, and do you love what you do? Well, of course you know I love what I do, but no, for me it's not hard to edit music videos. It used to be. Back when I first started, it would take me a couple days to get a music video done, but now I can get it done in 3 or 4 hours when it comes to editing. I have a streamlined process, templates and stuff like that that'll make your process go by faster. So I've gotten a lot of compliments on my return time when it comes to editing. So next question. Do you shoot for how you want the video structured, or do you shoot more than what you need and break down footage from there? You always want to shoot with a structure, but you want to shoot more than what you need. So when you're shooting out there and you're filming and you're going by your treatment that you wrote before you went out there, because you always want to write a treatment, what you want to do is once you feel like you filmed everything and you got everything that you need, film 1 more hour worth of content, whether that be performances, B-roll, whatever you need. Film another hour worth of content. That way you make sure you have everything you need once you sit down at your editing station and you start editing. You don't want to be sitting here at your editing station and realize, oh man, I've actually not filmed enough. So it's really important that you film enough content to fully edit your music video. So the next question, K-Shells wanted to know, matching the frame rate of your videos to the frame rate of your timeline, does it matter? Yes and no. It doesn't really matter what you film at when it comes to placing your videos in the timeline. 9 times out of 10, unless you're filming sports or something, you're gonna be exporting your videos in 24 frames per second for YouTube. What you wanna do is have a 24 frames per second timeline at all times. But the thing is, when you film, you wanna obey the 180-degree shutter rule, which says whatever frame rate that you're filming at, whether you're filming at 24 or filming at 30, filming at 60, 120, 240, you want your shutter speed in your camera to be twice whatever your frame rate is. So if your frame rate is 60 frames per second, that way you can slow some footage down later on, you want the shutter speed at the same time to be 120 frames per second. That way you'll get true motion blur. You won't have too much motion blur. It'll be way more realistic. Having not enough motion blur can be very jarring to people, but once you get that proper motion blur in the camera, once you sit down to edit and put all of that film into the 24 frame per second timeline, you're good. You don't have to worry about matching. You don't have to, just because you filmed at 60 frames per second doesn't mean your timeline in Premiere has to be 60 frames per second. You could set your timeline to whatever you're exporting at. What do you like most, editing, shooting, or synapses? I'm assuming by synapses you mean writing treatment. Filming, I hate the most. Actually going out and filming is the most tedious. I've had the police pull up on us, all kind of stuff, so filming is always there. But writing treatments is always fun because you get to picture the video in your head before you even go out to film. But I love editing because I love delivering the final product to the client. So a lot of times when you're filming, the client has no idea why you're getting certain angles or why you're using certain lenses and stuff. But once they see that final edit, then they'll be, impressed. And that's really what hooks them in to book you again, is once they get that final product. So I love editing. Why is a budget necessary? Carl Dunmore, that's a good question. I know why you asked that, but we're not gonna get into that right now. A budget is very important because it makes the video better, period. Now, a lot of artists, when they're booking music videos, they don't realize a budget for the video and the retainer for the videographer are 2 different payments that they have to secure. So when you ask a videographer how much you're gonna charge for a video, and I say $500, and you pay me $500, that's the money that's going in my pocket to go back into reinvesting in the lights and stuff like that. That's the money that's going to me. Now the budget for the video is going to be whatever amount of money you set aside to pay for things that are going to make the video look better. Whether you're booking rental cars to use in the video, transportation, whether you're booking a flight, whether you are getting extra equipment, stuff like that. You want to always make sure that the budget is secured before you book a music video. So if you know that you're gonna want a Rolls Royce in your video and you don't have a Rolls Royce, you know you have to rent it. So if you wanna rent it, you have to have that amount of money that it takes to rent that Rolls Royce. So that's where the budget comes in. That's why budgeting for a music video is important, just like it is booking a music video. So this question just came in. K-Yeezy wants to know, what's the best place to learn if you plan on learning videography? There's a bunch of places that you can learn videography from. You can teach it to yourself. That's a long process. YouTube is a go-to place when you want to learn anything. There's websites like Skillshare, stuff like that, where they teach you specific subjects. There's books that you can read. But I would say the best way for somebody to learn videography is to get with another videographer and have them teach them in person. That's the best way. Shadow somebody. You know, come get with me, get with 2023, get with Trillard, get with Jay Rich, get with, DJ Man, get with somebody in your local area that can teach you. And a lot of times that's the best way to learn, the quickest way to learn, and a lot of times the cheapest way to learn, because we're not going to charge you to, teach you what we do, and we might hire you. Do I prefer scripted videos or freestyle? I prefer to write a treatment for my music videos as opposed to just doing a run and gun video, just pull up and come shoot some stuff for me. But a lot of times, even when you write a treatment, it's very rare that you go exactly as what you wrote on the paper. When I deliver a treatment to a client, the first comment I usually get is, man, this is so professional. I take lyrics from the song and put them in there, and I put visuals in there, and I make it look really good when I'm writing the treatment. But once we get out there to shoot, things change. So yes, I prefer to use a treatment, but it usually ends up being run and gun by the end of the video shoot. This is a good question. How different is it between shooting music videos versus commercials versus interviews? Doing commercials and events and stuff like that, weddings, they're all very different. They all require very different equipment when you're showing up. If I'm doing an event, I can show up with just me and my camera strapped around my neck and pull it off just fine. As opposed to if I'm doing a wedding, the person wants to see you as more professional. They want to see more equipment. They want to, understand that you're getting the job accomplished as you're getting it accomplished. Music videos, it just depends on the booking. Interviews, I bring sliders and stuff like that. But when it comes to editing, if I'm editing a wedding video, I'm gonna take way more time and be way more meticulous, because that's gonna last that couple forever. Interviews takes no time to edit. Music videos, a little bit more stressful when it comes to editing, because you want to put a lot of effects and stuff in there. So, and commercials aren't bad, because usually a commercial is 30 seconds to a minute long. So that's it's not that bad. If you can film a TikTok video, you can film a commercial. Should the artist have an opinion or trust your work? That is a good question, but I think you answered the question in the question. The artist is an artist, so artists are always going to have opinions. They created the art. The music is their art. So I think if they're booking you, if they reached out to you, then they've already seen your work. And if they didn't trust you, then they wouldn't have booked you. Okay. So the next question is, why is color grading important for each clip? Okay. It took a lot for me to learn this one. I was really hard-headed when it came to color grading at first. But shout out to people like Jay Reese and Nogi. people like that stayed on me about getting my colors correct. Lighting when you're filming is very, 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 very important. It's very important that you learn how to use light, learn how to paint your scene with light. Like I said earlier, I have a light right here. I have lights back here, a light right here. You want to light your subject, light your background properly when you're filming. Get your settings right in camera. Once you pull all your clips into whatever editing program you use, whether you're using DaVinci Resolve, Final Cut Pro, Adobe Premiere Pro like me, what you want to do first, well, before you color grade, you want to color correct. You want to make sure from scene to scene, your shadows, your highlights, all of that, your contrast is the exact same from scene to scene. Then once you do that, then you can stylize by coloring, skin smoothing, whitening teeth, doing stuff like that. But before you ever color grade, you want to make sure that you color correct. So the next question is, what is your go-to effect for music videos? I think for a beginner, their go-to effects would be a lot more simple. Stutter effects, stuff like that, speed ramping. But I think for me, lately, I've been going into After Effects and doing the cutout effects. If you want to know the cutout effect, it's something like this. I used to do the line drawings and stuff like that. I've been using motion graphics lately. This is a good question. Where do you pull your inspiration from? I think it's very important to pull your inspiration from somebody that you can actually meet. So I think for most of the videographers out here, when we started seeing Trill Art doing what he was doing, and the videos got more and more and more professional, I think seeing Boomtown come from where he came from out here, you know, just the local people out here who were doing it before me and doing it better, that's a good place to get inspiration from. But I'm also a YouTube baby, so I watch Peter McKinnon, Max Novak, Brian Delamata, Who Is Matt, you know, the list goes on, Jared Poland. I watch a lot of videographers do what they do, and I pull inspiration from all those places. If you go to my YouTube channel, Team Rich TV, and you scroll to the bottom of the main page, you'll see a list of all the channels that I watch all the time. So if you want some inspiration yourself, you can go do that. Just go to my YouTube channel and scroll to the bottom. Am I self-taught? Yes, for the most part. There's been a couple of things that people have taught me, but for the most part, I watch YouTube and learn. I read. I'm the type of person that when I get into software, whether I'm using Pro Tools, Premiere, Final Cut, Photoshop, I learn the keyboard shortcuts. I want to know that if I push Control K, what it's gonna do. If I push Control Shift A, what is it gonna do? Like, I want to know in every single program what those keyboard shortcuts do. And once you learn that, it speeds up your process so much faster. So yes, for the most part, I'm self-taught. I learned a lot from watching Michael Allen and Denzel Seal, K. Brew, when they were doing their 2023 video tutorials. The 2023 Vision guys, they teach a lot. I've actually called them up before and asked them to come help me balance stabilizers and stuff like that. So those guys are really good teachers. YC Imaging is a really good guy to watch. Creative Ryan is a good guy to watch on YouTube. Yeah, I just learn from other guys. I watch and I learn. All right, Rich Kids, this has been Team Rich TV Question and Answers Volume 1. I'm going to be doing this again. I had a lot of fun filming this. Shout out to everybody that sent me questions. When I post again, make sure y'all get more questions and post them down there in the comments. Y'all can post comments down here in the comment section of this video. And please support Team Risk TV. I'm going to be starting a new YouTube channel soon. So be ready for that. Peace.